Hello guys, this is just a very quick video to talk about the fact that Riot Games seems to have really missed the spotlight when everybody piled on Blizzard because they managed to release two controversial decisions in a day. Which is amazing. First of all, they sued an esports organization called Riot Squad over the trademark of the word Riot. As far as I am aware, they are only allowed to trademark their full logo and name, which is Riot Games, which means that technically Riot Squad should win this lawsuit if they don't back down, because, well, you shouldn't be able to trademark a word. It feels like Bethesda suing over the word scrolls all over again. Yes, Elder Scrolls game belongs to you, but scrolls in itself isn't just not a copyright that you can have, similarly to how Riot should just not be a copyright that you can have, for it is just a word that would be quite normal and natural to use in the esports scene, if you ask me. Kind of like if you named yourself Shotgun Squad and then company making shotguns would be like, we think that you're too similar to us. I don't think that that's how copyright law should work. But we're gonna see how that's gonna progress later on. But if that wasn't enough, at the same time, Riot asked League of Legends players and casters to keep politics away from their broadcasts. And these statements were quite interesting, because at nearly the last paragraph, they mention almost a very specific situation. Our decision also reflects that we have Riot employees and fans in regions where there has been, or the risk is of, political and/or social unrest, including places like Hong Kong. We believe we have a responsibility to do our best to ensure that statements or actions on our official platforms, intended or not, do not escalate potentially sensitive situations. Is the situation in Hong Kong sensitive? Yes, it is, but at the same time, the fact that you explicitly made a statement about that shows exactly the kind of statements that you don't want your players using. For the most part, you don't want them saying free Hong Kong, don't you? And it's not the kind of attention that you want to attract to yourself, considering what has been happening with NBA, what has been happening with Blizzard. So it's very surprising that Riot decided to outright go ahead and issue this statement, because do you want to rile people up? Is that the point? You're probably better off with just having a free Hong Kong and taking the heat in your esports scene than you are to kind of walk around this issue like that, because, well, at the very least you didn't do a Blizzard and then you didn't pull anyone's winnings. But I don't like that. It's still censorship, it's still an issue of freedom of speech, and while at least you're caring to issue this statement, it's very obvious why you're issuing the statement or what it refers to. You're issuing the statement because 100% of all your shares are now owned by a Chinese company, which is scary in its own right. The fact that Western companies are just getting bought out by China, this is economical warfare. That's what it is, and we shouldn't stand for that. So League of Legends is a game I cannot, in pure conscience, recommend playing right now. Though, at the same time, I wouldn't have recommended playing it for a few days already, because while they said that they haven't told casters anything specific, their casters self-censored saying Hong Kong Esports Group. They self-censored themselves to the shortening of HKA, and they stopped in the middle of the sentence. They started going Hong Kong and then went to HKA, which sounds like they have already had orders issued before the statement came out about what is acceptable and what is not to say on air. Plus, their interviews have been screened and modified to Riot's approval. It was not a live thing. On Blizzard, the interviews were live. With Riot, they were pre-filmed, and they were screened before releasing, which already seemed very controlling. And the fact that Riot said, oh, we didn't tell them not to say Hong Kong, it didn't feel very genuine. But now the statement comes out, and it is very, very obvious what kind of statements they were given to their broadcasters previously. It's very obvious that, yeah, Hong Kong is not something that you can say around Riot Games or in League of Legends World Championship. So yeah, I suppose Riot just really wanted a riot on their head. Ah, rhymes that.